So according to Alvaro Colminero, and I really do apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name, uh, but he's a Spanish reporter. He's got ties to Ilia Topuria and the Topuria brothers. Has said Ilia Topuria will be fighting at International Fight Week, which is June 27th, for a title, I am told. Now, I've heard the same thing. From what I've been told, and I don't think anything's completely set in stone. But from what I've heard, it is going to be Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Now, I've heard there is a little bit of trouble that might be happening in regards to a certain manager not being happy with the fight. So we'll see if that fight ends up happening or not. But all that is certain is Ilia Topuria will be fighting for the championship. Now, is that going to be against Charles Oliveira? Is that going to be against Islam Makhachev? Or is it going to be against Arman Sarukian? I don't know. Those are the three options now. I feel like Arman Sarukian's sort of the odd man out here because nobody's talking about him in this. It's all about Islam, who understandably is the champion, or it's about Charles Oliveira. But like people are forgetting, Arman Sarukian quite literally beat Charles Oliveira, and nobody's even putting him in the title talks. Like that is crazy to me. Yes, Charles Oliveira is more entertaining. He's a bigger name. I get that. I get the money aspect of it, but like just a merit-based system. Arman Sarukian's on a massive win streak, including a win over Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira beat Michael Chandler, and now people are like, oh, you gotta give this kid another title shot. Like I get it, money wise, but it's just I don't know. It does feel a bit crazy to me. But regardless, Ilia Topuria says the camp has begun, and I like whatever fight it will be now. Out of rating these matchups stylistically, I don't know which would be the easiest, which would be the hardest. I think Charles would probably be the easiest matchup for Ilya. Certain things would be difficult though. The reach, he'd be a lot longer. I believe he'd have a lot longer reach than anyone. Well, besides Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert's like an anomaly. Like that guy is like big. That guy would be considered long for like middleweight, let alone lightweight. So but that could probably maybe pose some challenges. But I feel like Charles Oliveira's style would really, really be good for Ilia Topuria. Like we've seen Charles have a lot of problems with that heavy boxing style. Dustin Poirier dropped him a couple of times. Yes, he ended up rebounding and winning, but Cub Swanson finished him before. And I think the body shots would be big for Ilia Topuria in that matchup if that was to happen. I think he would get a lot of good work on the inside in the pocket, especially. I think he'd be able to piece up Charles, probably catch him on the chin, knock him out. At the very least, drop him. Uh, Arman's the one I'm iffy about. I don't know if Arman or Islam's the tougher matchup because Arman is younger than Islam. He's still improving, but I think he's like not that durable. I think we've seen him hurt a few times. He's tough. I could see Arman cracking him. Now we've seen Islam get cracked a lot, and we have seen him get put out, but that was ages ago. And his chins hold up pretty well against like Dustin Poirier, Volk. I know Volk's not like the biggest power puncher by any means, but he did land a lot of big shots, and like, Islam just took them all. So it is interesting when you think about it in that way. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you'd say Islam's probably the toughest matchup out of those three because Islam is a better striker than Arman. I feel like has good wrestling, not as athletic, not freakishly as athletic as Arman, but still very good, very strong guy, very strong, good, great grappling, has better submissions than Arman. So it'd be interesting out of those matchups. But I think, like I said, Charles, I think Ilya will knock out Charles. I think Ilya would probably beat Arman. And I, like, Islam, I think, is actually a pretty good stylistic matchup for Ilia Topuria. But I actually think the problems for Ilya in that fight wouldn't be the grappling. I think it'd be the striking. Because I feel like Islam's striking style would actually be pretty tough for Ilia Topuria because he's got a lot of good high kicks. He's got some pretty good hands. Obviously, that's the takedown threat. You got to factor this in, but I think the high kick is like what that is the Achilles heel for Ilia Topuria. We've seen it time and time again. Every time he's ever been hurt has been with a head kick. He got hurt by Jai Herbert. He got hurt in Brave by a fighter I can't remember the name of, but he got him with a head kick. If you're gonna get Ilia Topuria, you got to get him with a head kick, and we know that Islam Makhachev has a very good high kick. That's why I would like with Charles Oliveira. We don't ever see him throwing high kicks. You don't really see him throw many kicks from memory. He's got very nasty tie clinch. Very moves forward a lot. Good hand, powerful. Could definitely hurt Ilya, but I don't think he's going to get caught off guard with like a head kick or anything like that. Maybe Charles could just throw him off. He does have a lot of good teeps, but not the traditional type head kick that seems to give Ilia Topuria problems in these fights. But if this fight happens, this card's actually looking pretty good now. We did lose Hamza Chimaev versus Dricus Duplessis. Apparently, Duplessis is injured. Unfortunate. But they could save it. They could do Hamza Chimaev versus Caio Borrello. I don't think it needs an interim belt, but Caio Borrello said he will only take the fight with an interim. I get that he wants them pay-per-view points if he wins. You do that, then you got Alexandra Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Those are three big fights. That would actually, it would make International Fight Week feel like International Fight Week. Roman Kopylov is fighting Paulo Costa, which I reported previously. Uh, so that fight's happening, and the card will be really good. Like that will actually generally be a really solid, fun card. But yeah, Ilia Topuria, they need to fucking hurry up and get this situation fixed. We need this guy fighting, and this guy is like a generational talent. I mean, look what he did to Volk. And Volk's champion again. Volk beat Diego Lopez in like a masterclass type performance. Yeah, he got dropped, but it was a masterclass. That just shows the level that Ilia Topuria is on. That he was able to chin a guy like Volk. Yeah, maybe you can say, oh, we took it after the Islam fight, and yeah, that is probably a factor, but I don't think Volk's ever eating a shot like that. That was the cleanest, most precise, flush shot you're ever going to get. Ilia Topuria landed there. That was like perfect timing, power, precision. And if he was to land something like that on Islam, I think you'd be able to put Islam out. And like another thing you got to factor in is he's shorter. This is why I think Islam's like at least a competitive fight. I'm not saying Ilya's going to go out there and destroy Islam Makhachev in one round. That would be probably a bit crazy. But the reason I factor in that Ilya will cause him a lot of problems is stocky guy, shorter. Islam really likes to get on the hips, really likes to shoot. He does his best work against taller guys. Ilya will be shorter, so it's going to be harder for him to get him to the ground. On the feet, I think Ilya is the much better striker. Uh, he can have a lot of success like Dustin Poirier did. Like Dustin Poirier in the clinch was just ripping body shot after body shot. I could see Ilya having success with that game plan. The kicks, he actually has very underrated low kicks. I've been saying this the whole time. People were talking about how, oh, Ilya's just a one-dimensional boxer. I've said it the whole time, even before the Volk fight. I said, maybe I said it for the Max fight. I can't remember, and he used it really well against Max and Volk. He's got very, very underrated calf kicks. It's a very good part of his game. His kicks are very powerful. He doesn't throw too often, but when he does, they're very powerful. Like they were bruising up the leg of Volkanovski. Those kicks will be money against Islam. He'll throw those kicks. He'll mix it to the body. He stuffs a couple takedowns, keeps it standing in the clinch, and just body shot, body shot, body shot. I could just see him over and over again, ripping to the body, landing shot after shot, kicking to the leg. Eventually, I could see him cracking the chin of Islam Makhachev. Now, Islam can definitely have some success, but I think it's going to be harder for him to do the grappling, and I think on the feet is where he's going to have to win this fight. Definitely could get him with a high kick, but I think Ilia Topuria showed that he's incredibly durable because that Jai Herbert kick is one of the most flush head kicks you'll ever see. And he ate that. Yeah, he got dropped, but he ate that, came back and won. So it shows that Ilia Topuria's got the heart of a champion. He is a champion. So does Islam Makhachev, and this would be a great fight. You could just do this without any other title fights, and it'd be a massive, massive card. But the fact they're going to have two other title fights, or at least one other title fight, it's going to be a great card. So hopefully this will just hurry up and get announced already because, we've been waiting for this fight for a very long time. Dana says, yeah, I don't have news for this yet, but when we do, I'll go live. So hopefully we'll get a Dana White going live very soon. And, we'll be able to break this fight down officially as happening. Because if not, it gets a bit annoying just waiting over and over again. But, yeah. That's just my thoughts. That's just what I've heard. Maybe it ends up being Charles Oliveira, but from what I've heard, it is going to be Islam Makhachev. But we'll see because there is all the JDM Bilal going around where maybe Islam's waiting for the winner there. But yeah, we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, put on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and they could also probably vacate if Islam moves up, they're going to vacate the belt 100%. I don't think they'll. I think they're going to do another Ilia. Like it's going to keep going. Like Ilia vacated the belt, moved up for lightweight. I could just see Islam vacating the belt, moving up to welterweight. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, because they reckon it was Ilia's choice to do that, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.